3 minutes. That is the exact amount of time it takes to boil a kettle. It is the length of a pop song. And in South Africa, it is the exact window of opportunity to steal 15 million rand. We aren't talking about random crime here. We are talking about a level of logistics that rivals the military. Imagine a moving fortress, 4 tons of hardened steel, bulletproof glass, satellite tracking, armed guards. To crack this vault open in the middle of a highway, you don't need luck, you need perfect timing. You need to know the route before the driver does. You need to know the cargo value down to the cent. And you need to disappear before the police chopper lifts off the ground. This is not a story about robbery. This is a story about an industry, a shadow economy that operates with better intel than the police and better technology than the banks. How do they plan it? Who is feeding them the information? And where does the money go? Welcome to the business of the CIT Heist. The operation usually follows a strict 3-stage protocol. We call it the box, the jam, and the breach. Stage 1. The box. The gang uses high-performance sedans, usually stolen and cooled off for weeks to ensure no trackers are active. They wait for a choke point, an on-ramp, a bridge, or a quiet stretch of the N12 or N4. The lead vehicle, the stopper, pulls in front of the armored truck and brakes hard. At the same time, the chase vehicle boxes the truck in from the side. If the driver refuses to stop, and South African CIT drivers are some of the bravest in the world, the gang moves to the ram. They will sacrifice a luxury car worth 1 million rand without hesitation. They ram it into the truck's rear axle or wheel arch. The physics are undeniable. The truck flips. The truck stops. Stage 2. The jam. Before the truck even stops sliding, the signal jammer is activated. This is a military-grade device that blocks GSM and GPS signals. It cuts the truck off from its control room. For the men inside that armored shell, the radio goes dead. They are now completely alone. We all remember the viral footage of Leo Prinsloo, the driver who kept his cool and outmaneuvered the attackers. That video gave the world a glimpse of the terror, but in most cases, the truck is immobilized. And that is when the breach team moves in. Stage 3. The breach. In the old days, they used angle grinders, too slow. Today, they use commercial explosives, mining blasting cartridges stolen from quarries. They place charges on the roof, the door locks, or the windscreen. But the security companies are fighting back with science. This is the PUDU, the Polyurethane Dispensing Unit. It is a piece of South African technology designed by the CSIR. When the truck sensors detect an attack, a crash, or a blast, the system triggers automatically. It releases a rapid expanding foam into the vault. Within seconds, this foam hardens into a solid block, concrete hard, encasing the cash. Even if the robbers blow the door off, they are faced with a solid wall of foam. They can't pull the money out. They can't burn it out. This foam defense has saved billions of rands. It forces the gangs to abandon the hit or risk waiting too long. But like any war, when one side upgrades their armor, the other side upgrades their weapon. To understand why these heists are so successful, you have to stop thinking of them as gangs. You need to start thinking of them as contractors. Research from the Hawks and private security intelligence reveals that there is no single godfather running every heist in South Africa. Instead, it is a gig economy of crime. It starts with a nucleus. This is usually a veteran criminal, someone who has survived the game for 10 or 20 years. He doesn't have a permanent crew. When he gets a tip-off about a high-value shipment, he starts recruiting. He needs specialists, and he picks them based on reputational trust. First, he needs the driver. This isn't just someone who can drive fast. This is someone willing to pilot a stolen Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG or an Audi RS3 at 200 kilometers per hour. Their job is not just to get away, it is to use the car as a weapon. Then he needs the muscle. Recruitment often happens in the shadows of hostels or former paramilitary circles. These men bring their own heavy-caliber weapons, AK-47s, R5s. They are paid a flat fee to hold the perimeter. They are the shock and awe. But the most dangerous person in this network isn't the one holding a gun. It is the finger. The finger is the insider, the spy. Every major heist relies on information that comes from within the system. It could be a scheduler at the CIT depot who knows which truck has the bricks, the solid stacks of cash, and which truck is a decoy. It could be a corrupt police officer in crime intelligence who tips them off about roadblocks. Sometimes, tragically, it is one of the guards in the truck itself, coerced or bribed into sending a signal when they reach the ambush point. Once the team is assembled, they meet at a safe house to plan. They study the route on Google Earth. They time the traffic lights. They know exactly how many minutes they have before the private security reaction units arrive. They are ghost employees for a job that hasn't happened yet. Because the highway trucks have become so hard to crack, the gangs have changed tactics. We are seeing a massive rise in what the industry calls cross-pavement hits. Instead of attacking the tank, they attack the human. They wait for the guard to collect the cash from a retailer or an ATM. The moment he steps onto the sidewalk, he is vulnerable. These attacks are faster, messier, and often happen in crowded shopping malls. This puts you, the civilian, directly in the line of fire. The stats from 2024 and 2025 show a decrease in highway heists, but an increase in these urban attacks. Why? Because the PUDU foam doesn't work when the money is in a bag on someone's shoulder. But the real rot goes deeper than tactics. It goes to the justice system. In incident after incident, investigations have found that the weapons used, the R5 rifles, the tactical gear, often come from police evidence lockers. There is a grey zone where organized crime and law enforcement overlap. When a syndicate is busted, we often see the same faces. Men out on bail for a previous heist, hitting another truck to pay their legal fees. It is a revolving door. And the money? It vanishes into the economy. A single successful highway hit can net 15 to 20 million rand. That money is laundered through cash-based businesses, taxis, taverns, construction. It buys silence, it buys loyalty, and it funds the next operation. So, is the war being won? The introduction of smart trucks, foam technology, and drone surveillance has made the perfect heist much harder to pull off. The golden hour for the gangs is shrinking. But as long as physical cash is the lifeblood of the South African economy, there will always be men willing to risk life in prison for 3 minutes of chaos. Next time you see a CIT van on the highway, give them space. Don't tailgate them. Respect the danger they are in. Because to you, it's just a truck. But to someone watching from a bridge, it's a retirement plan.